behind the cape.
James Gunn has revealed that a new Wonder Woman movie is in the works. It's being written right now.
Fam,
Right
the
this
man is a
second.
liar. He's either a liar or a moron. Well, no, he would have to be both. Because remember, he told us that projects don't move forward until they have a full script. Well, this project doesn't even have a Diana. We're writing a script for a person we haven't casted yet. I guess that's not terrible. That you find the person that fits the role. That's not what makes it egregious to me. What makes it egregious is there are still questions around Superman, whether or not the marketing is suggesting it or not. Right?
Mm-hmm.
We don't know what the hell is going on with Batman. So 2/3 of the Trinity are kind of in flux. And you're talking about writing Wonder Woman. Fam, where's Batman? Where's Batman? How much money is Superman actually going to make? Is this huge marketing push that we're seeing from Superman right now? Like they easily $200 million, y'all. Like, and I'm not even, that's not an exaggeration. They had an Old Spice commercial on today. There's a Superman branded new scent that they got coming out around in July. They were on a Geico commercial the other day. Right? Like that shit costs money, y'all.
Yes, big money.
That shit costs money. That's a whole lot more than shooting 4 teaser trailers, which they've also done. Okay? So on top of the exorbitant budget that they keep trying to rebuff, even let's say we took them at their God's honest word and said 250 million is what it costs to make this movie, which I absolutely do not believe.
Mm-hmm.
But even if it was another 200 million, so you mean the budget, the total budget, production and marketing is $450 million? Okay,
I'm gonna call it 500.
Fam, are we creating movies that we know are going to be a loss in hopes that it creates popularity for the rest of the menu, for the rest of the character? That is just not, that's simply not how this thing is built. And I understand people are trying to apply some sort of conventional wisdom in that regards to how they're building this up, but that is 1000% not how this works. You don't overspend in the beginning to get people in to see the rest of the stuff, especially if you know that first project may not be the strongest. Like it may not be your first installment into the franchise is not supposed to be your strongest performance, right? So why is that one getting the $500 million budget? Why are we putting all our eggs in the very first project, not knowing how it's going to perform in the box office, right, at this late date? And I think that's what all of these, the early ticket sales, the Prime for the Prime users early screener thing that they had going on last week, they combined both of those numbers, the first day's ticket sales numbers and the previews together, not only to boost the projections coming out of the first weekend, but to show that they're one of the strongest projects going into July. That's movie magic stuff.
Yeah,
that's marketing stuff. That's not all Superman is the, what did they say? What did they say? It was Fandango's #1 selling project in the first week of 2025. That is that's some heavy spin. Some heavy spin. You want to know why? Because it's a few marks ahead of Captain America Brave New World, a few steps behind Thor Love and Thunder. So now does that sound that impressive? Does it sound that impressive anymore? Like we're only a few steps ahead of what Captain America Brave New World was, and that was a flop.
Mm-hmm.
And we're a few steps behind one of the worst MCU movies of all time, and that only got around $750 million.
Yeah.
If Superman makes $750 million, it's a failure. It's a financial flop. Now, it could still get some good word of mouth. It could still create some excitement for the genre. But I don't know if y'all, again, paying attention to the financial news of these companies again, but Warner Brothers and DC are splitting. Okay, that you don't walk head first into a financial failure when they have to break up, you're parting out your company. So I don't know, man. I still think that it can compete with Fantastic Four in July. I don't have any. I don't care about the first week projections because I understand how they got those numbers to get above the other two films that it's flanking. I
Sure.
don't see it beating Jurassic World. It will compete with Fantastic Four. If it's a pleasant enough movie, it'll probably beat it. But that's kind of where I draw the line on Superman.
You don't think they're spending so much on it because they bet on James Gunn being their savior for DC?
Well, this is James Gunn's project. Like he's the one
This is his
deciding
at bat.
what
This is
gets
his
spent.
first at
Yeah,
bat.
he's the one that's deciding what the number is. Now, after this, like depending on how it goes, he may not have that long of a leash. He may not have the type of say so to be able to spend $500 million on a project and it not be profitable. Well,
Yeah,
I can almost guarantee that's going to be the case. Like you
for
won't
sure.
have
It's way too much.
that room anymore to wiggle with. So,
William Moloch said, "Will it beat How to Train Your Dragon
How to Train Your Dragon got about $200 million in its opening weekend.
so far?"
Yep, did 198, I believe it was. So,
It's really good.
I mean, if we're already looking at the inflated, what I believe to be inflated projections for week one, they're topping out at 177. How to Train Your Dragon just put up 200 million worldwide. So hard to see that. If that's what they're projecting on the high end, it's hard to see them outperforming a movie like that.
Your choice for Storm, Jade Cargill, is going to be in an action thriller with Jonathan Majors called True Threat, I think is what it's called.
I'm excited about this. I am. I think it's going to give Jade an opportunity to show her chops in a position that suits her. I was talking about this on Pantheon, and from the description that I read about her character, she's kind of a mob boss type, right? Like she's a villain, she's an antagonist, but it seems as though she has physical prowess, like she's a fighter to a certain degree. So that's squarely putting Jade Cargill on what she does best on screen.
Yeah.
As long as they don't give her a whole bunch of exposition to show what I would assume would be weaknesses of hers in reading lines, and she's not really used to doing that at that level. I'm thinking Gina Carano and Deadpool 2, that kind of thing, that kind of role. I think that suits her. And I think she could do better than a Gina Carano. I think she has a little bit more on-screen personality. I didn't really see Gina Carano's personality come out until Mando. So
Gina Carano has personality?
A little bit, somewhat. It was there in Mando. It wasn't really there in any of her other projects, but it was kind of there in Mando. But again, I think a lot of wrestlers transitioning over to acting mess up is they'll take roles early on that don't suit their skill set. And so then it really does come across on screen when you're being flanked by other talented actors. Whereas in the ring, on Friday or Monday, it's not really showing up like that because everybody's of the same caliber, in terms of acting skills. So I think this is a good move for her. I'm happy for Jonathan Majors that he got another notable name to kind of help draw to this one. I think this one will obviously make more than magazine dreams. Yeah, I'm excited for the film.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think when there's a stark contrast from, some of the strengths of what wrestlers are, you notice it right away. Plus, they haven't been acting for very long. So then that experience shows on top of the stark contrast from what they are in wrestling. So when you give them a role that leads them into acting, they get to develop over time and it plays to their strengths, like you said. So
think John Cena in The Marine or 12 rounds.
Literally, that's what I was thinking.
The Marine and 12 rounds were basically the same movie. They were perfect for John Cena to step into Hollywood. And now John Cena has the type of range where he can be that guy or he can be the comedic relief. Yeah, Ricky Stenicki. Yeah. that shit was funny. That shit was actually funny. But he's expanded his range as an actor. And I think that was all due to the point that he was able to kind of tiptoe into things that were comfortable and then expand out. I think Batista did some of the same. Right, he started out pretty small, and ended up being God damn, what's that man's
Drax.
name? Drax. There you go, Drax the Destroyer. And I think that they kind of stunted him a bit with what they were writing for him. Drax is supposed to be a more serious character than that.
They made him dumb.
But all of the stuff after Drax, what is it? Land of the Dead? Was that the newest installment into that franchise? The one on Netflix.
Knives Out.
What is it?
Knives Out.
Not Knives Out. No. It was the zombie stuff.
No, I was saying, wasn't he?
He was also in Knives Out. Yeah, he was also in Knives Out. He was in shit. It was an M. Night Shyamalan movie about the end of times just recently. This was like in the last couple of years.
I should probably just pull up Dave Bautista.
His IMDb. Bautista be working, man. He's got
In the Lost Lands.
Okay.
He was in Doom Part 2. Oh, sorry. It was Glass Onion, not Knives Out.
He was in Doom Part 1, not 2. No. He was in both. He was in both. Yeah. He led the attack against the Atreides on Arrakis in the first movie. And then the second movie, my boy, Thanos, Josh Brolin, came and gave my boy the quick death. Gave him a quick death.
It is so wild seeing him with hair and then the little chin strap thing he had going back when he was with the Evolution.
Yeah.
Disgusting. One of the big guys.
That movie I was talking about, Knock at the Cabin.
Mm-hmm. Gotcha.
And then Army of the Dead was the zombie movie.
So, and you can always still go back to that from time to time because obviously you're still Dave Bautista, John Cena, but every now and then you can
go back to wrestling in a while. I ain't seen him get back.
Not wrestling specifically, but you can still go back to being like, the big action film. Yeah.
Speaking of that, he has a new movie that he's working on with Daniel Craig and Cillian Murphy.
The prison movie.
Yep. So doing his thing.
All right, let's talk about James Samuel. Somebody tweeted out and said, "Watching Sinners really makes me wish we could have seen Harder They Fall in cinemas with tweaks. James Samuel really did something special with that movie, and it still is one of the best soundtracks I've ever experienced." And then somebody responded to that and said, "Yes, just imagine that in IMAX and the way reggae mixes so perfectly with the Western genre." That caused James himself to retweet and say, "Don't worry, you're getting IMAX on the next one."
Oh, dope. Y'all don't even understand how dope that is. Not only are we not going to get, not only are we going to get another Sinners type production in the way that film was shot, right? IMAX 70 millimeter.
Mm-hmm.
But your boy Jonathan Majors, most likely, I don't see why he wouldn't be, is going to reprise his role in the most popular, in my opinion, in the most popular thing that man was in. I think his role in The Harder They Fall was more impactful to his prominence, his rise, than Creed 3.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
He was already, I feel like he had already gotten to the point with Creed 3. Like he was already there.
He was already there.
He was still on a rise with Harder They Fall.
Yeah, he was already Kang. Kang had already come out by then. Yep. I am extremely excited to see The Harder They Fall in the theaters and on IMAX. Yeah. Oh yeah. Put that in my vein.
With the star-studded cast that they had, Jonathan Majors, Idris Elba, Lakeith Stanfield.
I'm trying to think everybody that survived though. No, because Lakeith dead.
No.
Idris Elba dead.
All the characters that they had, or all the actors that they had.
It's gonna be. They
killed quite a few of them.
Zazie, Jonathan Majors, and Regina. I think they are.
Yeah, Regina,
the chick from Lady in the Yard. Damn it, I can't think of her name right now. She was dressing like the boy. She was the hired gun.
I know who you're talking about. I can see her face. I just can't.
I can see her face. Yeah, can't get her name out right now. But yeah. Those were the only ones that survived all of that.
Yeah. Yep. So no, I'm definitely ready for that. Harder They Fall in Lovecraft Country. Yep. That was the rise. It was definitely the rise.
Not a big Peacemaker fan, Mofly. Not a big Peacemaker fan.
Danielle Deadweiler.
Sure. Who is that? Oh, yeah. Yep. There you go.
Vivica Fox. We talked about this for a little bit. I don't know if this is $9 billion
Dog.
total box office.
They are reporting that her gross box office off of every film that she's been in, she's been in some impressive films. Independence Day, Kill Bill, most notably. I think those are the two highest grossing. But all of her films total throughout her career has grossed $9 billion. That's making her the second highest grossing black female, is it black female or female artist? I feel like that would just be female. Let me see if I can get the quote up here.
While you do that, I'm going to bring up these credits, the filmography, if you will.
Sure.
Because obviously we know the Independence Day. Okay, that reads. And then, Batman and Robin.
Who was she in Batman and Robin?
Misbehaving.
Okay.
Is
that Batman and Robin was it Val Kilmer?
I thought that was
or
Clooney. Val, or was it was Clooney? It was Clooney.
Okay, Clooney.
Soul Food.
It made some money. The second highest grossing black film actress in Ohio, in Hollywood.
In Ohio is crazy.
I would say she's probably just behind Viola Davis. I think the only other person she would be behind in that regard is Viola Davis.
No Angela Bassett?
Oh, okay. Hold on now. Yeah, I want to know who number one is, because it's got to be Viola or Angela.
Yeah.
She was in Black Panther. She was in, she's been in everything. Vampire in Brooklyn. Goddamn, What's Love Got to Do with It? Goddamn, Waiting to Exhale. Goddamn, Stella's Got Her Groove Back. She been Olympus Has Fallen. She was she was Amanda Waller in the first Green Lantern with Ryan Reynolds.
Yep.
So Angela Bassett been putting up some numbers too. It's either Angela or Viola Davis.
Or according to William Moloch, Whoopi.
See, my thing with Whoopi is over the last 10 to 15 years, her performances have been very sparse. She hasn't had some of the big time Hollywood productions that Viola and even Angela have continued to get throughout the years. What up, man?
What up, man?
So that's what would kind of stunt Whoopi Goldberg for me. Now, if we was going from like 1980 to like 2005, Whoopi Goldberg would absolutely be in that. But see, she's kind of slowed down here since she's been on network TV. Culture Made says
box office black women.
You don't think it's Viola though? Culture Made, like it's got to be close. It's got to be neck and neck.
You don't want to hear. Well, at least when I searched highest paid box office black women, you don't even want to hear the name that came up. You don't even want to hear the name.
I do.
It's not Angela Bassett.
Okay.
It's not Viola Davis. It's not Whoopi Goldberg.
Who is it?
Zoe Saldana.
No, we're not doing that. We're not doing that.
Avatar, Guardians of the Galaxy.
We're not doing that. No.
That. I'm just telling you what came on the screen when I searched it.
Next. Let's see who the next one is, and then we can start the list for real. Let's say highest grossing actress who considers themselves to be black.
I mean, I told you wouldn't like it. All right, let's see if it actually shows me, because it's asking who is the highest grossing black actress. It has Vivica Fox, Zoe Saldana. Oh, Viola Davis still holds the crown for now, is what it says.
That's what I thought. I thought it was Viola.
Viola Davis is at 15. Then it's Zoe Saldana at 14 billion. Vivica Fox at 3 with 9 billion. And then
see, they eliminated. I get what the poster was doing. They eliminated Zoe Saldana straight out of that. They didn't even consider her.
Facts.
I get it. I respect it.
How is Denai Guerrera 4 and it gives the names for Zoe no Black Saldana? I don't understand how Denai Guerrera is 4th and she's in the same movies that Angela Bassett was in.
Or maybe they're taking into account the Walking Dead stuff.
Maybe
they're taking into account the Walking Dead stuff. She's been on Walking Dead for over 10 years.
Could be.
But I don't know notable much other stuff Denai Guerrera has been in other than Black Panther. I'm trying to figure out. But those productions do a lot. That puts them ahead of a lot of black actresses. The fact that they were in both of those movies. Black movies don't make that much money. Not 800 million and $1.3 billion. So if you were lucky enough to be in that realm, I would assume that Lupita is somewhere on this list off the strength of those two movies as well.
It has to be. So I don't know. That's the list that I've seen from
interesting
blackcosmo.com.
Where Kiki at? Kiki took a long lull in between Akilah and the Bee. When she was going through her later high school age and college years, she wasn't acting that heavy. So she took a break. I actually know my one of my specials in college when I was pledging actually ended up living with Keke Palmer for a little bit. It was funny.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Now, it also should be noted that was box office and not how much these actresses are getting paid themselves, which also might look like a different list.
Taraji has long talked about how she's been paid crumbs outside of what Tyler Perry has paid her. So some of the best Taraji performances you can probably think of: Benjamin Button, Hustle and Flow, Baby Boy. She wasn't paid a whole lot for those performances.
Well, she should get a check from Baby Boy from BET, considering it's always on.
Boy,
BET.
them residual checks for Baby Boy gotta be nuts. They better be. They better be
crazy.
Playing Baby Boy on Easter, they playing Baby Boy on Father's Day, they playing Baby Boy on Mother's Day, they playing Baby Boy on Thanksgiving.
Every day.
Every damn day. A special double feature of Baby Boy this Friday at 8.
Disgusting.